By August 10th, 1969, Los Angeles would have experienced one of the most brutal, gruesome murders in American history. With 169 stab wounds, 5 gunshot wounds, and 7 victims, the city would forever be haunted by the actions of the Manson family. Today I will be informing you about the Tate LaBianca murders. This is a topic I have been fascinated with for years and believe you will too. To begin to understand these murders, you need to know who Charles Manson is, the motives behind the murders, the details of the murders, and the outcome of the trial. So, Charles Manson was a notorious cult leader. He was a professional criminal. He spent half of his first 32 years in actual jail and was famous for his role in the Tate LaBianca murders. After lots of digging, the strange motives were uncovered. Helter Skelter, The Beatles, Revelation 9, and Terry Melcher's rejection. So, Helter Skelter was basically his belief that a race war was coming between whites and blacks. And Helter Skelter was also the name of a famous Beatles song, and Charles thought that in the song, basically he was being talked to. Revelation 9 is his theory of how the blacks would obtain the power and would not know what to do with it and would go off into the desert, into the bottomless pit, and actually meet Charles and his family there and hand them over the power. That's very, very weird. Late on August 8th, 1969, Manson sent 4 of his followers to the Melchers' home. The details of the Tate LaBianca murders were gruesome. The victims were 8-month pregnant Sharon Tate, Jay Sebring, Abigail Folger, and Wojtek Frykowski. All the victims were stabbed numerous times, and all the males were shot at least once. The next night, Manson joined his followers this time, and they went to Lino and Rosemary LaBianca's house, and the reason they chose that house was because when they were younger, they actually partied at the house next door, and they knew the people, they knew the LaBiancas because they would complain about them partying, being too loud and stuff. Well, Charles helped his followers tie them up, and then Charles left and let his followers murder them. Rosemary was stabbed 44 times and her husband 26 times. The family members present that night were Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Leslie Van Houten. A few months later, the Manson family was arrested in suspicion of auto theft, and while in prison, or in the jail, awaiting for their auto theft trial, Susan Atkins actually bragged to her cellmate about the murders and told her everything. And that was the downfall right there. And that is what caused authorities to find out when she ratted. On March In 1971, Manson, Krenwinkel, Atkins, and Van Houten received the death penalty in California. But sadly, Watson was on the run, and they could not catch him for a while, and they found him actually in Texas, so they had to give him a separate trial, which he got the death penalty also. But California, where all of this happened, abolished the death penalty only a year after. So all their sentences were transferred to life in prison. Today, Manson is 82, Tex is 71, Krenwinkel is 69, and Van Houten is 67. And Susan Atkins died in 2009 from brain cancer. Manson and his family committed one of the most gruesome set of murders in history, and I hope after this presentation you have a better understanding of who Charles Manson was, his motives, the details of the murders, and the outcome of the trial.